Communism is the highest form of socialism. Communism is the highest form of socialism which couldn't be realized till now. And by that, you can also get a difference from communism of Plato and communism of Marx. So Platonic communism was more spiritual. Marxist communism is more economic. What was the purpose of Platonic communism? Maintain unity in the state. But for Marx, it is a classless society. And if you look at the vision of communism, although that is very much idealistic, and the critics are saying that, see, Marx believe in ethics or Marx is scientific. Marx is a philosopher, scientist, or ethical scholar. Yes, so I will discuss all these issues because once we discuss the basics, that is if you look the highest form of freedom, where we can enjoy the highest form of freedom in communism. Today, that I see in communism, what will happen? Because government, no state, no government, no class, no private property. So what happened in communism first? Individual will have a collective. Individual have a collective freedom. Let's see. Freedom is a necessary for one person or it is a collective entity. And let us see. Communism is a stage of society where interest of individual is very much coincide with interest of a community. That is never accepted by the liberals. Liberals always believe that conflict is bound to emerge in society. Communism is the highest stage of society where there is no possibility of conflict in society. And this is the communism. Although this is the reason why it couldn't be realized in the practice. We couldn't see a society which is free from all the conflict. Level of conflict can be changed. But therefore, Marxist vision was very utopian. Although he criticized utopian scholars, while propounding his own communism, he was very critical to the utopian scholars like Robert Owen, Charles Fourier, Saint-Simon. And he says that all were the utopians. But let's see, what is utopian? The idea which exists nowhere. Utopian means just like a fancy of light. So even Marx is also becoming utopian. That's very interesting. And therefore, communism, it means where we can realizes the highest amount of freedom. Communism. And here, development of one person will be the condition of development of all. What happens in capitalist society? Can we enjoy freedom in capitalist society? Answer is no. And why we can't enjoy freedom in capitalist society? Because what happens in capitalist society? What does it mean by freedom? Because so many people don't have any share in their property, lack of property rights, class divided society. How a servant can enjoy freedom? In communism, there will be no division of power. Nobody is a master, nobody is slave, nobody is a ruler, nobody is ruled. Nobody is a landlord, nobody is serf. Even that is a society which is based on a class. So let's see. In what happened in capitalist society, everybody can become teacher, everybody can become engineer, everybody can become civil servant, depends upon their choice and wish. There is no class of engineer. What happens in capitalist society? Once you have chosen a particular profession, you cannot change your profession because of a fear. In capitalist society, people are living constant fear. What is the fear of losing job? What is the fear? Fear of failure. See, why you are too much shake? Why before appearing in the PT exam? The people who qualified the PT, they are very worried about means what will happen, means what will happen, means. Constant fear. DM is under fear because under fear of transfer. Everybody is under fear. और आप याद रखो तो फ्रीडम कहाँ है? once necessity come to an end. And capitalist society have a multiple necessities. Then let's see. In a communism, we can enjoy the fullest amount of democracy. Communist society is best example of equality. Communist society is best example of the fraternity. So the question again is important. Marx was against democracy or he was a fully democrat? Marx was a democrat, he was against democracy. And remember, why communist society will be fully democratic society? Can you give an answer? Why communist society will become the fully democratic society? Let's see. What we come to know about democracy, the form of government. Marx doesn't talk about democracy as a form of government. First, the communism means no private property. And let us see, there is a contradiction between private property and the interest of proletariat. In communist society, class will not be divided because there is a lack of private property. Lack of private property means no class. No class means no state. Therefore, if lack of state, what is the need of government? No need of government, no need of religion, no need of a family, joint family. Individual is free, although they are living community life. Therefore, once there is a absence of government, so how we can say that it is majority government? Marxist communism has nothing to do with majority or minority. It is the best example of direct democracy. Everybody will participate in governance. Everybody will take part in the government. Decisions are taken by the consensus. This is the idea of Rousseau's direct democracy. Therefore, democracy is not a form of government, but form of society. Democracy is a form of a society. And which society is more democratic? What is more difficult, to make a democratic government or a democratic society? Making democratic society is always difficult. A society without division of class, society division without division of privilege, society without division of discrimination. And let's see, and once society is founded with these principles, everybody will become owner of his own life. Everybody will determine that what shall be objective of my life. Nobody is under regulation, subjugation of other. This is best example of a direct democracy. So what democracy means? It comes in a way of life, form of society, where democracy, that stands for ideals, where dignity of everyone is respected. How it is possible? Without society, without class. What is democracy? Philosophy of democracy is more important or democratic government is more important? Philosophy of a democracy is more important. And what is the philosophy of a democracy? Liberty, equality, and the fraternity. Liberty, equality, and fraternity. These are the philosophy of democratic government. So we will looking for a democratic society. Therefore, Marx was one of the best democrat ever born. Therefore, his dictatorship of the proletariat was a evil. But it was lesser evil in order to fighting greater evil. So what was greater evil? It was capitalism. And therefore, after finishing up capitalism for the dictatorship of the proletariat, therefore, in days of communism, first time I will enjoy the liberty because nobody can regulate over my life. Every individual will become sovereign. But we can't imagine any conflict between the two individuals because even the interest of individual is a very much matching with the interest of community. This is a Marxist vision of communism.